So they're changing the way containers work, and this is pretty cool. They didn't have to do this at all, but it's certainly going to be cool for the people who do spend money on containers. To put it short, the TLDR is you are going to get more ships out of containers. That's the TLDR, right? So let's read what they say. We're preparing to upgrade the container system in the upcoming update, and it's going to change quite a few things, as well as introduce a new mechanic that we want to test. Bear in mind, this is a test. It's not necessarily going to stay around forever, so you may only have a limited chance to take part. Start from the beginning. Currently, the content of containers is determined at the point you receive it on your account. And that's important because if you buy a crate, let's say, that is guaranteed to drop a ship, it's built in such a way that if it's going to drop a ship, then it's predetermined the moment you buy it. You press A to buy it, you got one container in your top right corner. You already know what the reward is, or at least the game already knows what the reward is. Which means that if you get a ship, after you've bought that container that guarantees a ship, you can still get that ship. Which doesn't sound that bad until you think what happens if you buy 100 of the same crate, and there's 3 ships on offer. It's entirely possible that of those 100 crates, 60 of them are trying to give you the same ship. And then it's got to fumble around with alternatives or nothing if, once you get your first one. So they're changing that. So starting with the next update, the content is going to be determined upon opening. So just because you have a crate in your where the fuck containers are kept, doesn't mean that it's already got a guaranteed reward. Which does, bear in mind, I don't think they'll mention this, but bear in mind that if at any point the drop rates or container items change, they'll take place immediately. You don't have the protection of, let's say, the container drops get worse, or they take something out because it's overpowered or whatever. That is entirely viable for them, bad for you, because just because you have the crates in your storage, I guess, doesn't mean you're guaranteed it if they remove it. In fact, you're guaranteed not to. Starting with the next update, yeah, it's determined upon opening. So the duplicate protection, if it's turned on for particular items, i.e. ships, will become essentially airtight, yeah. So yeah. If you're supposed to get patches, flags, permanent camos, ships, commanders, and there is supposed to be duplicate protection against all of those things, it should now work. With the sole exception of the non-premium premium patches and backgrounds and the stuff you would normally get from like the smaller blue crates, because that's totally intended to be duplicated. That's still going to happen, potentially, unless they change it. Additionally, some drop rates for containers that we've already released may change slightly, so they're already warning you, bear this in mind. What I just said about, let's say you have a container on you right now that is guaranteeing you a certain ship, or a certain percentage chance of getting a ship, and they change it to much worse odds. from the next update, you will not have the guarantee of the better odds. But on the bright side, if they increase the odds of a ship, you'll also be guaranteed to get the better odds. So, you know, you can read that however you want to read that. They're certainly not really stingy when it comes to premium ships, let's be honest here. The stuff you can buy is expensive. I'm not that fucking delusional to think it's not. It's super expensive, but at least they are... I mean, there's very few people who've been playing the game for over a year and have not got free ships. Lots of free ships. Can you get a link to that? A link to the patch notes? Yeah, I can put a link to the patch notes up. Sure. In fact, there should be, if I have a look at it, and filter by oh, it is alphabetical. Okay, it's alphabetical per category. It'd be patch notes, edit patch notes. There, exclamation mark patch notes for the patch notes. Work. Let me test it. Bam. There you go. Some drop rates for containers we've already released may change slightly, but will not affect the crates opened with the update, as their content has already been determined. Yeah, so if you have old crates and they increase the drop rates of some ships, you won't get the new increased drop rates. But from the point of which the update is pushed, every crate will be determined on opening. So that's good. Or bad. Depending on what they do. They don't tell. I don't think they're telling us what these changes to crates actually are, and I don't think they know half of what they're going to be. So we shall have to see. Keeping an eye on it if you are in the market for certain in-game items. Keeping an eye on what drop rates are and what drop rates are going to be is probably a good idea. I would recommend, if I were them, I would recommend before they do change any container values, drop rate values, they should tell us first, so at least it's completely transparent that they intend on either fucking us over or even giving us better odds. Because it would be awful for somebody to buy 100 fucking crates at the chance of a 0.1% chance of a ship, and then the day after, when the update drops, it's like, oh, by the way, now it's just 50% chance you get the ship. You only had to buy 2 rather than 100. So that's my opinion. But on top of this, here we fucking go, right? Finally, we're going to test drive a new system for containers that will guarantee you a rare reward. That's not containers will guarantee you a rare reward, but that the new system is built so that eventually containers have to. Not that there is a specific type of container that guarantee you a reward, but that all containers give you a guaranteed reward eventually. If you open 39 containers without obtaining a ship, then you are guaranteed to receive one of the 4 ships in the 40th container. Bear in mind, this is container, as far as I'm aware, it's container types, i.e. you can't go and open 40 tiny blue containers, or 39 blue containers, and then open one different type of container that's got all the ships you actually want, and guaranteed to get a drop off of that container. If you open all the 39 little blue containers, your 40th little blue container is guaranteed one of its ship drops. That's fucking cool. Bear in mind this counter is reset whenever you receive any ship. So being smart about these things is probably a good idea. The described system will only work for Black Friday containers in the coming update, so this is the test that they're doing. is that if you buy 40 Black Friday containers, you are guaranteed to get a ship. At bare minimum. If you get a ship out of your first container that you open with Black Friday, at bare minimum, your 41st container will also contain a Black Friday ship. Which means if you have, let's say I believe there's 4 Black Friday ships coming. If you have 3 of the 4, and you really want that last one, buying 40 containers guarantees you that last ship. That's certainly better than fuck all. Fair enough. We'll see how people react to it. Probably start using the system for newer containers too. So they're pretty optimistic that this is a good idea. And to be honest, it's more free shit. I don't think it ruins the value of these ships by guaranteeing them, because at the end of the day, you're still buying 40 fucking containers for it. In the guaranteed ship crate, drop rates are given to each ship based on their item weight. For all 4 ships, this is 40% for Exeter B, 40% for Graphs B, 16.7% for La Terrible, and 3.3% for Massachusetts B. So if you open crates until you get these two 40%ers, it's going to take you no more than 80 more crates to get all of them. Because these two chances are, well, Terib is actually a pretty decent chance, especially for how good the ship is. I suppose it's alright. But the 3.3% chance is a bare minimum. It's a 1 in 40 once you have everything else. And you have to remember as well, if you have these two ships, the Graph and the Exeter B, the drop rate for these ships go up by the missing drop rate of these two, because logically the game can't give them to you again. So your drop rate from Massachusetts goes up massively with every ship you get. That's pretty good. That means at bare minimum, if you're one of the type of people who like to go and collect those black ships anyway, it's now going to be considerably easier for you to get them. So again, they like to make this very well known. The test as of next update is that Black Friday crates, the new ones, give you the guarantee. No other crates will in the next update. So if you end up getting a ship based on your 40th guarantee from Black Friday, I would recommend going onto like the Water Warship Legends social media and say, oh cool, thanks Wargaming for the free ship, thumbs up, and then, you know, get some fucking hype for it, because they'll give us more free shit from a good response. Because they're already pretty optimistic about it. You'll try for Massachusetts B after buying out the campaign? Well, it's certainly a lot easier now. Or going to be, as of the next update, right? As this is, again, from the update dropping on the 8th of November. Which is Monday. Should we have a look at the campaign? We already know what the campaign ships are. Scirocco and Mains. And because there are 2 ships, there's 120 milestones rather than 100. Which means that it's also going to last 6 weeks. Which means that the update will end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the 20th of December. It's almost like that next week there's plenty of time for them to, you know, put something very interesting in. Who knows? It's not like it's Christmas after that, right? We shall see. Scirocco. Premium Tier 4 French destroyer. You get it at milestone 40, which will be completing week 2 of 6. Or if they do hard modes, I don't know if they've got hard modes. You might be able to get it a week early. 130mm guns at tier 4, bear in mind. Decent torpedoes along with a main battery reload booster. She's a fucking stonker of a ship. Bear in mind this is not the same as the Friesland Loyang campaign. You have the chance of getting both ships without having to buy the other one. So it's not, you know, it's not like you're only going to get one. You get both if you're paying for it. Of course, the big deal here it is fucking KMS mains. Premium tier 7 German cruiser. She's the final reward. Fast-firing guns, sonar, armor as good as heavy cruisers, and 4 quadruple torpedo launchers. Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm not actually allowed, and Wargaming has expressed this to the community, specifically the Super Test community, that they don't like us even suggesting whether or not ships are good, or whether or not we actually like the ships. So, all I can say is from the information they've given us today, yes fucking please. It is not that I've already tried the ship, and I like it, okay? So don't read into that too much. Standard campaign rewards looks like 1.5 million silver, 750 doubloons, 7 days of premium, butt ton of crates, 5 insignias, not bad. Not bad at all. They usually have it about, I think it's usually in the region of 60 to 70,000 doubloon is their value of the entire campaign. This campaign is worth 80,000 doubloons, so they've really gone all out. You got 6 of the big fall crates this autumn for anyone who isn't American. Baines is gonna power creep. Baines is gonna power creep cruisers. How you doing, Gavin? Good to see you, man. Yeah. Well, cat's out of the bag now. Fucking good old British aircraft carriers. I won't say anything until I read this, so we shall see. But I'm excited for them. It's always carriers always have to be the a second-rate campaign reward, right? Or update reward, or release, or whatever. Because as soon as they ever come out with another carrier release, it's just people are gonna fucking complain. People complain anyway, but it's gonna be worse. Let's see. The tech tree branch follows a recent blueprint laid out by carriers of other nations. That means 3 ships, tier 3, tier 5, and tier 7. A dedicated commander, so that's a British aircraft carrier commander that you'll be able to get through missions when the update drops, so you won't have to get it out of a crate. But you will be able to buy it in the commander store too. Look at them. Here we go. The main feature of British aircraft carriers is their carpet bombing ability. Carpet bombing. The torpedoes, meanwhile, offer a narrowing trajectory, changing the playstyle compared to other nations. For those who don't understand how fucking important that is, that means, unlike the other aircraft carriers, especially when you're dumping late, your accuracy really comes into play, because you can pinpoint where the torpedoes are going. Just like, coincidentally, the other British ships in the game. The torpedoes are not about maximum hit damage or speed or flood chance. It's just purely based on efficient hits, which is great, in my opinion, if you can use them. What does that even mean? Good question. I daren't say, but it is, for those who are familiar with the term carpet bombing, it's the idea that instead of accurately dropping bombs on the target you want, you just grab a load of shit and just fucking chuck everything everywhere. See what, chucking a load of shit at the wall, seeing what sticks, right? Not built for accuracy, built for, something's gotta hit him. The immediate damage output for the Brits might seem lower than their rivals, but the fire chance of their bombs is such they are great at keeping things aflame and often win the war of attrition. General British playstyle in the game: efficient torpedoes, high fire chance, even if the bombs are basically just fucking throwing shit at the wall. What do you think the carpet bombing is? I know what the carpet bombing thing is, so I can't give you an unbiased answer. I'm not allowed to tell you. You will see on Monday, and I'll explain it in detail on Monday. Because then they released it then. Hermes is the tier 3. She looks alright. Basic, but the tier 3s look basic. Apart from Ryan. Ryan looks great. There's Furious. I don't know. She looks weird. I don't like the idea of the runway being so far back, but it is what it is, I suppose. And then Implacable. I mean, I'll be honest, she's a good looking fucking ship. Me likey. And I'm gonna be fucking getting it. Absolutely. Our commander for the British aircraft carriers is Dennis Boyd. His inspiration is going to be under the radar, which reduces the ship's detectability from the air. By the way, fully maxed out by 10%. That's especially for the much larger battleships, massive. That significantly reduces the quality of spotter planes and significantly reduces the ease at which aircraft carriers are going to keep all battleships spotted, even the ones that are trying not to be spotted. I don't know who that is. Maybe the champagne in the corner, but other than that, it's pretty rare. But that's a pretty massive change. You'll also see a pretty decent increase on destroyers, but at the end of the day, harassing is still going to be the way to go. 10%. What's a destroyer's average detectability from the air? Like 2.5 at most. So you're going to lose, 200, 250 meters. Call it 1.8 to 2 kilometer range. You're not going to see much of a difference, but that does mean the planes of all CVs in the game are going to have to get closer to spot ships, especially a cruiser built for anti-air that is not firing his guns. Defending a destroyer is going to be considerably more effective, because the range at which the CV will have, or how close the CV is going to have to get to these ships to keep them spotted, is going to be effectively 10% smaller. Which means your anti-air guns, especially the ones that are more effective the closer you get, are going to come into play a lot more. So it's a pretty massive nerf for CVs, ironically, on the CV commander. It does also mean that the British aircraft carrier, because it is sort of a little bit tame in its damage, it is going to be... It's going to be hit a little bit less hard by the detectability nerf, the previous detectability nerf of carriers. But overall, that's a pretty significant carrier nerf. We shall see how people actually take to it. But that is assuming that people are actively going to be dealing with a aircraft carrier specifically, rather than just passively letting their anti-air do it. For those of you who can detect everything, there's a code here, 12 Shadow Camos. That is a permanent camo of the Shadow variety. Right there. For free. You're fucking welcome. The legendary skill is, the unique one is the Vault. The passive effect is increase your dive and torpedo bombers hit points by 4%. It's pretty good. Both of them a 4% harder to kill. Special effect, when you are in proximity of an ally, up to 3.5 kilometers, so you're going to have to be super close, which is just not going to fucking happen. It reduces the incoming damage of your aircraft carrier by up to 20%, which is something we've seen before, right? It's on one of the other ones, I believe. But still, I mean, if you have a support ship with you, they are going to help. But that never fucking happens. You didn't notice that? There you go. Soviet cruisers leave early access. That means they're going into the tech tree properly, which also means you're going to have access as of Monday from Riga. If you want it, and you have been lucky enough to get the tier 6 Tallinn, you can upgrade Tallinn. Fuck, you can even upgrade Riga, and it will unlock on Monday. So start expecting to see those on Monday. I like how it says not high caliber guns, but higher caliber guns. Higher caliber than fucking tiny. They're still small. But they're close enough in size to the other line of cruisers to get the same gist. General Russian cruiser tactics, flat ballistics, it's got sonar, decent torpedoes. It's just going to be another very, very similar feeling Russian cruiser, except you've got, what is it, 220s instead of 152s. So, you know, heavy cruiser. 203s, think more like Baltimore or something, rather than Cleveland. I'm not going to go over Kotovsky, Gorsky, and Tallinn. Yeah, Riga's got 220mm guns, which is an early design of the Stalingrad. Interesting. I shan't say what I think of them until Monday, but I will give you my opinion on Riga on Monday. But I will say this, because it doesn't give anything away. I do believe, like generally, to be honest, Wargame's done a pretty decent job of implementing a new line. But that's enough for Russian cruisers now. Thank you. Give us something fucking new. Black Friday's coming back. We've already gone over this with the containers, for those of you who are interested. They did confirm it's Massachusetts, Exeter, Graphsby, and Le Terrible. And these crates will also come with the guarantee that if you have not received a ship by your 40th container, you're guaranteed on your 40th container to receive a ship. It's also guaranteed, as usual, to not be a duplicate. That means if you have been opening containers and you manage to get extern graph, because they're like 40% chance, at that point, both La Tiribe and Massachusetts are more likely to pop up because you can't get extern graph anymore. But on top of that, if you're still struggling to get both the ships, by the 40th container you're guaranteed to get either La Tiribe or Massachusetts. Not bad. Not bad at all. Can't wait for Regan. The Warhammer 40k stuff is coming back. I'll let you guys sort that out. 2 ships, 2 commanders, usual gumph about one of the worst companies that exist in the gaming world. I shan't say more than that. Ranked is coming back. We're getting another season of Ranked. Tiers 5 to 7, again, of course, no aircraft carriers, thank fucking god. And a limit for destroyers sounds reasonable to me. Getting Ranked 1 still kicks you out of Ranked, so there's only so much shit you have to wade through, which is great. In these seasons, while getting a new rank, you don't get another star, so losing the next game results in going back 1 rank. Except for the irrevocable ones. That's normal, right? So they've got irrevocable and revocable ranks. A draw counts as a loss, we know this. That's just in the game generally. If you get a draw in any game mode, it's a loss for both sides. So don't fucking draw. Prizes. You can see distribution for each season in the infographics. The better you do, the more prizes you get, obviously. Even participating gives you some pretty fucking decent rewards. What is it? Promotion orders and days of premium credits and full crates, big full crates that is, by the way. The epic proficiency boosters, universal commendations, paint, global XP, more full crates, shadow camos, steel, and doubloons for ranking out. So if you want your steel from ranked, you have to rank out. Bit of a bummer, but such is the way it's going to be. Starting November 11th to the 15th.
Things could break any minute now, but right now, back to our regular program. Starting 11th and ending on the 15th. That's not this weekend, that's next weekend and the surrounding days. Solicitor, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you. We're just going over the patch notes. I'll do a quick TLDR after we're done as well. We're about halfway through. In fact, we're about basically done. We're just talking about ranked at the moment. Maximum of 1 destroyer per team on a team size of 5. So it's going to be very small teams. Tier 5, no aircraft carriers. 7 ranks total. You start at rank 7. You can division in pairs at most, so no triplets. And the irrevocable ranks are 6, then 3, and then 1. So if you get out of rank 7 into rank 6, you're locked in there, but you do have to go through, you have to finish rank 6, rank 5, and rank 4 to get locked into rank 3. And then you have to go through rank 3 and rank 2 to get locked into rank 1. And again, if you want steel, you have to rank out. Archipelago, ring, and straight. Ring's going to be interesting. Archipelago and straight, not so much. They're going to be pretty fucking standard, right? I like ring, though. For ranked. Starting the 18th to the 22nd, that is going to be the weekend after. So the first ranked season is not this weekend, next weekend. The weekend after that is tier 6. I think it's the same rewards. Just double check. No, it's not. There's no credits. It's Commander XP. And instead of a Universal Commendation, you get an Insignia. But all the usual doubloons, Shadow Camo Steel, Days of Premium, the usual stuff. Tier 6, usual doodads, same irrevocable ranks, except at Tier 6 your maps will be New Dawn, Trident, and Neighbors. I worry about Neighbors. Trident's also I worry about that one. New Dawn's okay. All three of these maps really are quite one-sided. So that's going to be interesting to see. One-sided in the one side's quite open, one side's quite closed off, so it pushes a lot of people one way. We shall see. And even different rewards the weekend after for the tier 7s. Instead of... Oh, interesting. Your first reward is a commander crate. And then you lose out on your Commander XP. What a shame. And no premium days either. That's a bummer. Never mind. Tier 7. There's no leagues in any of them, right? Yeah, no leagues, so it's just everyone's in the same tier for each season. Same irrevocable ranks. The maps are Neighbors again, Trident again, and Haven. Haven at tier 7. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because most people aren't. I worry though. Haven's a bit of a rough one to get bad teammates on. We shall see though. Should we go through the balance changes? Most important thing. How you doing, Salty, by the way? It's good to see you, and good to see you too, Celisto. Thanks for the raid, buddy. Balance changes. New Mexico to start. New Mexico is going to be more accurate and faster firing. Yes, fucking please. I was okay with the way New Mexico was before, but I suppose with the new American battleship line, she didn't seem that much different from Tennessee, I suppose. Pretty decent shell grouping improvement though. I'll take that. For clarification, by the way, the difference between shell grouping and dispersion. If you can imagine your target that you're firing at as a dartboard, dispersion is the size of the ring around your target. That's your dispersion, right? How close to the actual target you're going to get. Grouping specifically is how likely each round is to be close to each other. So the actual grouping of your rounds in that dispersion. For example, very bad dispersion means that you can miss a target by quite far, but very good grouping means that all your rounds will go the same place. And the opposite is true of low dispersion is you're far more likely to hit the target, but the bad grouping means you're far more likely to spread it around the board. So effectively, what they're changing about New Mexico isn't necessarily her accuracy, but the likelihood of you getting more than one hit on the target, which is great. Fine with me. They're changing some doodads here. Jellicoe skills were replaced by Hidden Threat and Burn Baby Burn. Let me have a look at Jellicoe. There he is. So
That's right. What they're getting at there is wrong one. Is they've got an aircraft carrier trait, and smoke on the water being. Am I blind? What is burn? Wait, oh, it's burn baby burn now, isn't it? That's right. Looking for something that isn't there. So smoke on the water has been replaced with. Oh, and again, it's an aircraft carrier skill because aircraft carriers now, and he's the base commander. So once you get your specific commanders for specific ships, unlikely you're going to use much of Jellicoe, to be honest, unless you want some random ass build. Clubert, for those of you who were sane, agree that this is probably the most important change for this update. Clubert has received a stonking great fucking nerf of 2 kilometers to its torpedo range. That means that it's still an incredible gunboat, but now at least the risk of hitting, say, a broadside curve first, who's using his sonar, is now a guaranteed detection by Clubert. So that's at least a decent downgrade. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, to be honest. I'm curious to see how many of her torpedo hits happen between 6 and 8 kilometers. I doubt it's going to make too much of a difference to the problem. We shall see, though. She may be due more nerfs in the future. We shall see. The evasive maneuver consumable was changed. Instead of granting invulnerability, it now decreases incoming damage to planes by 50%. Thank fuck for that. It isn't just a get out of jail free card. The HUD now has yellow state to indicate reducing incoming damage while the evasive maneuver consumable is active. Okay, so you can tell when it's on by your health bar. Good stuff. That's going to obviously make aircraft carriers more difficult to play. Planes are going to now be a lot easier to take down, which means clear skies are going to be a lot easier. We may see a little bit of a change in the CV department because of it. We shall see. My favourite change of the update is they've added Epicenter to Trident on tier 4 and 5. Great for tier 5. I see Trident a few times on tier 5. That's fantastic. And Tears of the Desert for tier 7 and legendaries, which means I'm going to be seeing Epicenter when I play the game. It's beautiful. Just wipe this tear away from my eye a minute. Beautiful. Rework the spawn points on Haven. Thank fuck for that, because it was incredibly easy to have a very bad maneuverability built battleship end up broadside behind the islands and just keep popping between detected, undetected, detected, undetected as she's sailing to her position. It should be easier now. We shall see. See what people think. The middle spawn points for both northern and southern teams were adjusted for the Shards map. I'm pretty sure that's referring to how close people are. The speed at which a destroyer could start spotting a Yamato on Shards was, I mean, effectively meant only one thing. You push forward, because you're spotted anyway. So at least you should be able to be a pussy on Shards now, if you really want to be. If you like that idea, with all due respect, you're playing Shards wrong. you're also playing battleships wrong. But that's just my opinion. North is no longer available as a map for Tier 4. It was too large for these smaller ships. I'll take it. I was fine with it, but fair enough. Sweet. So, should we go over a TLDR? That's a campaign which drops on Monday, by the way. The update is smaller than usual, and I'm pretty sure that's just simply because these newer updates are more efficient. So, same amount of content, just faster installs. Fine. The containers are going through a test for a rework, wherein which, in this update, Black Friday containers will guarantee you a ship on the 40th container that you open, if you haven't received a ship. As soon as you receive a ship, this 40 container limit resets. If all goes well with these Black Friday crates, then they'll probably end up rolling that out to all containers. I fucking hope they do. The campaign on Monday is going to open with Scirocco at milestone 40, Tier 4 French destroyer, and Mainz at milestone 120, Tier 7 German cruiser. You may think, wow, milestone 120, that's quite long. Don't worry, there's 6 weeks in the campaign instead of 5, so you have longer to deal with it. Great. Also, because it's 6 weeks, the actual total value of the campaign is considerably more than usual. Especially considering you get 2 fucking ships out of it. The Royal Navy are coming. Hermes, Furious, Implacable, with Dennis Boyd as their commander. The trick of the gimmick, shall we say, of the UK carriers, I can't explain more than this, but I will say that the torpedoes, the longer you aim them, the more accurate they get to virtually no end. If you miss a perfectly aimed torpedo from the British carriers, it is entirely your fault. Just like the torpedoes of all of the British ships in the game, it's not about how, throwing shit at the wall and hoping something hits. It's about being as efficient as possible. And being efficient as possible gives you the highest efficiency of any of the carriers, right? With their torpedoes. Completely counter to that is their bombs, which have a carpet bombing ability. Think more like Lexington than Shokaku. It's not really as much about being accurate with your bombs as much as just flinging as many fucking bombs at a broadside ship as you possibly fucking can, because it's a British fire setting thing. It's gonna set fire to fucking something. And probably things you didn't even aim at too. If they were allowed to, they'd set fire to the ocean. That's the UK carriers. You may think, wow, that's OP as fuck. Don't worry, the overall effectiveness of British aircraft carriers is lower because their efficiency margin is much higher. So they're going to on average do worse, but at their best do even better. Bear that in mind. If you get fucked over by these guys, it is almost entirely down to the fact that the guy in the ship actually knows what they're fucking doing. Don't blame the aircraft carrier. These things require a fucking stellar commander. We shall see. We shall see what people think about it. The aircraft carrier commander, on the other hand, is quite the opposite. Standard aircraft carrier commander with the legendary trait that it reduces your incoming damage when you're in proximity to an ally, and the passively increases your plane's hit points by 4%, so that's pretty decent. However, the base trait is actually more important than you might think, not just for the aircraft carriers, because its a flat air detectability range is decreased by 10%. This works for all ships, bear in mind. This isn't a ship-specific perk, so that is effectively every ship in the game can hide from planes 10% better. If that seems like a good carrier commander, it's not. It's an amazing commander inspiration for everyone else. Does that mean you're going to enjoy CVs again? I don't know. You don't enjoy anything, so probably not. No offense. Free code, I've already posted it in chat. I'll do it again. There you go. There's the code, and then you can do exclamation code for the website. There you go. That's 12 shadow camos for free. That's a permanent shadow camo on any ship you want. Nice. Riga's coming out with the Soviet cruisers leaving early access. That means she'll be researchable on Monday. Black Friday crates, we've already gone over it. 4 ships, Massachusetts, Exeter, Grafsby, and Terib in black. With the added guarantee, if you haven't got a ship by your 40th crate, you're guaranteed one you do not own. Bear that in mind. Warhammer 40k stuff, you're more than welcome to go through that in your own time. I'm certainly not. 2 ships, 2 commanders, you get the gist. Ranked returns tier 5, 6, and 7, starting weekend after next. The 3 weekends. If you want your steel, you are going to have to rank out. It's going to be a bit of a bitch. That be it. Balancing changes we've already gone over. New Mexico is going to be more efficient with their guns. John Jellicoe has, as a base commander, now has carrier traits. Clubber's torpedoes have been nerfed by 2 kilometers. Evasive maneuvers, which is on your aircraft carrier, your invincibility is now, instead of being invulnerable, just 50% damage reduction. So, no absolute cock blocking. Epicenter is coming with more maps. Yes, fucking please. Haven is reworked a little bit. Great, considering Haven is featured in the tier 7 ranked, by the way. Good stuff. Shards respawn in the middle have been changed to be less shit. And North is no longer a tier 4 map. Those are the patch notes for update starting Monday, the 8th of November, 2021. What do you guys think?